Sing God's gonna wipe away all our tears. He gonna wipe the tears, yeah. He gonna wipe the tears from your eyes. Do you hear me out there this evening?
Okay, Shalom, giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Akar Kodash. My name is Lamadia, and I was watching a brother video he put together, and I thought it was a very edifying video. The name of the video was entitled Reality, and the brother break down the word reality, and he goes into, you know, what is reality and the misconception of reality. And Lord willing, I'll put the link in the description box of the brother video, so you know you other brothers can watch it that's interested. So I'm gonna land back off his video, and I'm gonna do illusion, because you have reality and you have like falsehood and illusion. So this is the word illusion. Let's take a look at it. Now, this is the English definition of illusion, and it reads, a thing that is or is likely to be wrongfully perceived or interpreted by the senses. So this is the English definition of the word illusion. Now, this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach out of the Apocrypha, chapter 3 and 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And their vain opinion is their illusion. Because sometimes you could overread into a situation and start seeing something that's not even there. And that's what happened with these people. It says, and the evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. Because they rather focus on how things appear or how things seem rather than how things really are. A case in point or example of that is when we go out there and teach the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, a lot of times people focus on the delivery, on how we bring out the information rather than the information itself. You know? So they miss the message. They're so focused on the delivery rather than hearing the message. That's why it says the evil suspicion and overthrown their judgment. Because if you in a burning apartment and you sound asleep and somebody come wake your ass up and say, yo, wake the fuck up, get the hell out of here. Are you gonna focus on like the delivery, or are you gonna get up and get out of that circumstance? So now, this is the etymology of the word illusion. And we're going to go a little deeper into the word illusion. So let's go down to the Latin. We're just going to start cooking with grease right now. So, as you see, it says from the Latin, illusium, a mocking, jesting, gerund, irony from the past participle stem of eluder, meaning mock at, literally to play with. So now the word illusion means to play with, and you know what, that makes perfect sense, because a person that deal with illusion, what they really doing, or a person that deal with illusion, what they really doing is playing with your mind. And as you see here, is also we get the word ludicrous. Now click on ludicrous and it says what? It says an adjective pertaining to play or sport. From Latin, ludicrous, sportive. So that's what it is. You know, it says amusement, game, toy, source of amusing joke. From ludere, to play. So illusion, it really means to play. Because illusionists, what they do is they play with your mind. Like a person that is a magician, he's also known as a illusionist. He's playing tricks with your mind. Now, this is a Satanist by the name of Anton Xander LaVey. He's credited to be the founder of the first Church of Satan, and also recognized as to be a high priest of Satan. Now, this is what he had to say about the television. Now, it reads, or it quotes, "There are television sets in every home, every restaurant, every hotel room, every shopping mall. Now, they're even small enough to carry in your pocket like electronic rosaries. It is an unquestioned part of everyday life, kneeling before the Kafdi Ray God with our TV God concordance in hand. We maintain the illusion of choice by flipping channels." So he mentioned the word illusion, and he referenced together with the word channeling, because when you put on a television and you change the channel, what you're doing really is channeling different spirits into your home. And it reads, "It doesn't matter what is flashing on the screen. All that important is that the TV stays on." So he's telling you television is a mechanism used to bring illusion to the mind of the people, and people believe it. Just like when you watch the news, people believe everything that the news say without questioning, which is an illusion of playing on the mind. So now here's a little more what the Satanist Anton Xander LaVey had to say about the television. And he quote, "The TV set or satanic family altar." Now see how he referenced the TV set as being an altar for Satan in your home. And he quote, "has grown more elaborate since the early 50s. From the tiny fuzzy screen to huge entertainment centers covering entire walls with several TV monitors. What started as an innocent respite from everyday life has become in itself a replacement for real life for millions." So he said has become a replacement for real life. In other words, reality. Because we at a point where people believe that the television display more reality than the outside world. They believe in this illusion of things. So I'll read that again. What started as an innocent respite from everyday life has become in itself a replacement for real life for millions, a major religion of the masses. So it has become a religion pretty much, meaning it's something that is done repetitiously, meaning people are on TV or on their phone, which is another form of TV more than they actually in the outside world, because they're addicted to it. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And the one that's letting it happen is the Most High, because Esau, he gets his power from the Most High, and the Most High allow him to do these things he's doing just to fulfill prophecy. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And that's Esau. Everything he do is all about witchcraft, symbolism, and enchantment. That's how you get his power. His power is in deception and putting spells on people. So let's switch gears real quick to this guy, Chadwick Boseman. Now, what we're looking at is an image of what is said to be the last footage that Chadwick Boseman posted up, giving reverence to Jackie Robinson. And he's wearing a cap with the number 42. And just so happened, Chadwick Boseman dies on Jackie Robinson Day at the age of 42. And the number 4 and 2 adds up to the number 6. So let's take a look at Chadwick Boseman's death. Now, Chadwick, date of death is August 28, 2020. Now, this is Jack Kirby, the artist of Black Panther. Now, let's see the date of birth. Again, August 28, but on the year 1917. Now, after the death of Chadwick Boseman, you had a lot of people throwing up this pose known as the Wakanda Forever pose, as giving homage to Chadwick Boseman and the movie he did with Black Panther. Now, that pose, Wakanda Forever, goes back to Freemasonry, which goes back to the ancient Egyptians, which mean Osiris risen. And as you see here, you see a couple Freemasons throwing up the pose. So now let's read a little bit about who is Osiris. Now, it says here, Osiris is the Egyptian lord of the underworld and the judge of the dead, brother / husband to Isis, and one of the most important gods of ancient Egypt. The name Osiris is the Latinized form of the Egyptian User, which is interpreted as powerful or mighty. So there you have it. Osiris is the lord of the underworld or the dead. See, now the Egyptians, they was into that witchcraft and enchantment and dealing with spirits. And I'm going to show you that in the book of Exodus chapter 7, and I'm going to start at 8. And it says, And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then shalt thou say unto Aaron, Take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his serpents, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantment. And that's really what magic is. Magic is dealing with enchantments and dealing with spirits on the left-hand side. So it told you that Pharaoh had his wise men, people that dealt with sorcery and witchcraft, and they was able to have the ability to deal with enchantments on the left-hand side. So it says they also did in a like manner with their enchantments, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rod. See, and that's what the Most High had that happen, to show that the Most High is he's the most powerful, because the Most High controls the left hand and the right hand side. So when Pharaoh told his magicians or his sorcerers to turn their rods into serpents, the Most High had Aaron's rod swallow up, or Aaron's serpent swallow up their serpent, to put Pharaoh and his magicians to shame. So now here's a few people throwing up that Masonic symbol of Osiris risen, but it's really an enchantment to enchant demons. Now here is Aleister Crowley dressed up in an Egyptian attire, throwing up the same enchantment, which is the Osiris risen, or what people think today, the Wakanda forever. Now, since this whole Black Lives Matter movement, they've been pushing for the tribes or Jake to identify themselves as being black, which black is synonymous with death and not having any knowledge. And since the death of Chadwick Boseman, they was pushing this black identity thing, and Jake identifying himself with being black rather than being Hebrew Israelites or the people of the Bible. Now, going back to this Osiris risen pose, like we just went over, Osiris represents the god of the dead, or the god of the underworld, other words, black. So they pushing death. Micah 5:10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, I will destroy thy chariots, I will cut off the cities out of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds, and I will cut off witchcraft out of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standard images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hands. And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to cut off all the witchcraft in this country and in the world that Esau get his power from, and bring back righteousness back on the planet earth through our Lord Yahushua. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hand. I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities. And the groves represents these different places of worship. Verse 15, I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. So with closing words, I'd like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem for Kwadash. We're close to the end, and brothers, remain spiritual.